All right, guys. Stop the watch party feeds. Started a new feed here. Clippers are going to lose. They're going to be 5-16. Coach Lue took out the starters with 10:30 left in the third quarter. And apparently the message was received because when they came back, and I couldn't believe they came back down 30 late in the third, Kawhi comes back out there, and they were playing hard. Is that enough? No. Can it be the start of something? We'll see. We need it to be the start of something. That was the first time the starters really got disciplined for their poor play. Miami hit a couple more threes to start the third quarter. Coach Lue said enough. He benched his starters. When they came back in, they played much harder. We'll see if that has any carryover effect. It's at least, you want to talk about an adjustment? There's your adjustment. And James Harden did not come back. What happens with that? We shall see. Postgame. I don't know. But I'll plug back in. We'll give you the final call here. Oh, another stoppage in play. Miami's 14-7. They are good. Let's not go complete casual with it.
Final here in Miami. 140-123. Heat win by 17 in a game they led by as many as 38. And the Clippers fall on the road to Miami. They are swept by the Heat for the first time since 22-23 season. Clippers have lost 5 in a row, and they drop to 5-16. Well, Adam Oslin has you the rest of the way. We'll be back for one more segment. 140-123. Miami wins by 17 here at the Kaseya Center. And the Clippers will head to Atlanta next on our Clippers Audio Network.
We got our first big move with Coach Lue benching the starters to start the third quarter. They came back in. They played much harder. We shall see if any of this is meaningful on Wednesday. The Clippers were down 38, made a bit of a push, but too little too late. They're 5-16 after losing in Miami now to the Heat, 140-123. Welcome into your postgame show. I'm Adam Osland. Coming up, we'll hear from Coach Lou and the players, but first, back out to Carlo Jimenez. So, Carlo, we saw really the first big message sent from Coach Lou in the second half, pulling the starters within the first 2 minutes, and he did seem to get the desired response when they returned in the ball game. We'll see if that means anything going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the lineup changes or something changes for the Clippers in terms of how Ty Lue wants to play things. I have played without James Harden when they made that run to come back into the ball game. It was impressive to see them play so effective from the offensive end, and then really the defense is what stood out. I mean, Miami had 7 points in the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, Adam. I don't think they finished with much more than 18 in this one in that fourth quarter. The Clippers were excellent in the fourth on the defensive side, and Kawhi Leonard was really impressive. Miami, by the way, 26 points there in the fourth quarter, so they did turn it on late, but the Clippers scored 41 of them. They were uber efficient in the fourth. Nonetheless, for this Clipper team, you just have to take away the end as a positive. I mean, you can't, obviously the beginning of the game is poor and you played poor, but at some point out on this team, dwelling on what you've done wrong is going to get you nowhere. The Clippers have to look to positives in games and hope that they can use those to translate in the future, because dwelling on the mistakes of that first half, the 30-2 run, the 13-3 run to start the second half, it is really nothing good is going to come from it. This team has to start building towards something that they can look at and be proud of and try to build more from that.
And I'll say this, I don't know what's going to happen with this team considering they're 5-16. I know everybody's talking about it. Jobs could be on the line. This is professional sports. Of course, we understand that. But to me, it was meaningful seeing Kawhi out there late in the third, down 30 plus, playing that hard, and the rest of the guys coming back in outside of James Harden, continuing to play hard. I think that was them saying, we don't want this coaching staff to be held responsible for our play. This is on us. And they showed they have more to give, hopefully, moving forward, that they can play better when they are challenged like they were from Coach Lue.
More to give has been what they've preached in the locker room, but also, you said it there, saying this is on us. That's something Kawhi has said. He said, literally, quote, the coaches can't go out there and play. We have to execute. Big Zoo has said this is on us. So the players are not shy about taking the blame for this one. They understand that the coaches have given them the formula. I mean, it would be one thing, Adam, if the Clippers coaches were saying, hey, get back in transition, stop letting the other team shoot threes, and we got to be able to play defense at an elite level. The Clippers did those things, and then they were losing games. Then you'd be like, well, what the Clippers are executing what the coaches say, and they're not winning games. What's going on here? But the answers to the test have been there for the Clippers, and they've just been unable to execute them. I did think, Adam, in that first half, especially the first, call it 18 minutes of the game, the defense was great for the Clippers, especially forcing turnovers. I mean, they got 15 points in the first 18 minutes off forced turnovers. It didn't continue, but I think that was definitely something that it seemed like the defense was much more locked in. And Miami shot the lights out today. I mean, a literal franchise record, tying 24 threes. And in the first three quarters, they had 21. I mean, they were unbelievable shooting the ball. Credit to the Heat and all those big shots. Their shooting was just unbelievable today.
Yeah, that 30-2 run midway through the second quarter, mouth agape. That was something I don't know if I've seen before. That was incredible to watch. Unfortunately, the Clippers were on the wrong end of it, and that was the beginning of the end in this ball game as they fall to 5-16 and lose 140-123. We will see if there were any lessons learned in this ball game, as they will be in Atlanta on Wednesday. Tip off at 4:30 against the Hawks. We'll have a pregame show back here at 3:30. Carlo, great call, even in an affair where the Clippers were trailing by as many as 38. You had me excited. I continue to stay with it, as this team did make a little bit of a run and had it down to 12 with just under 3 minutes left. But too little, too late. We need to see them bring the same energy they had at the end of this game to start and for 48 minutes really in Atlanta on Wednesday.
Yeah, that is the key right there, Adam. You're right. If this is going to mean anything it's got to show in the next game. And so we'll see if the Clippers can start strong against the Atlanta Hawks. Adam, if we have one more game, I'm always going to be happy. Another one coming up. I'll talk to you in a couple days. Let's go.
Coming up next, more post game. Clippers fall to 5-16. The starters were benched in the second half. They came back in. They played harder. Could we see a different starting lineup? What type of shakeup are we looking for now? We'll talk about it all on Clippers Talk. If you want to get on early, 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. Clippers lose 140-123 in Miami to the Heat, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Clippers trailed by as many as 38. The starters got benched early in the third, came back in, made a run, but not enough. They lose 140-123 in Miami to the Heat, and the Clippers are now 5-16 on the season. Welcome back into your post-game show. I'm Adam Moslin. We're looking for Coach Lou audio post-game and maybe an answer as for why the rest of the starters came back in, but that did not include James Harden after they were benched early in the third quarter. And I mean early, less than 2 minutes in to the third. Rightfully so, with the way they were playing out there. The Clippers continue to let teams shoot the lights out against them. This game, no different, as the Miami Heat tied a franchise record, hitting 24 three-pointers. They went 24-46. That's 52% from the outside, and the Clippers continue to not shoot it well from three, just 9 of 29. That's the biggest difference in this ball game. And so was the second quarter, where midway through it, the Clippers had a 46-44 lead, and within 5.5 minutes, they got down by 26 after a 30-2 run against them in 5.5 minutes. Just an incredible lopsided run like maybe I've never seen before. And the Clippers got down early, I should say in the third quarter, as more three-pointers started raining down upon them. And the starters were pulled. A Bam 3, a Mitchell 3, a turnover, a Norm 3. The Clippers were down 29, and Coach Lou pulled the starters. They eventually came back in, starting with Kawhi Leonard, which was interesting to see in a game they were still down by 30 in. Later in the third quarter, Kawhi stayed out there. Kawhi hit his minutes high since returning off of the minutes restriction. He was at over 30 minutes in this ball game, just over 30. Ended up with 19 points in the fourth quarter, 36 in the ball game. Too little, too late. But I saw a different version of Kawhi Leonard. Like, message received. If we're going to get benched, like, we have to play harder. We have to do our part as starters. Unfortunately, again, the Clippers did not have enough when it mattered most in this ball game, and they're 5-16. 140-123 was the final in favor of the Miami Heat, who got a 30 ball from Norman Powell, 22 from Andrew Wiggins, 27 from Bam Adebayo, 22 from Tyler Hero, and 16 and 12 assists from Davion Mitchell, who went 4-4 from the outside, as they went 24-46 from three collectively. The Clippers lost by 17 in Miami. Up next, they will be in Atlanta taking on the Heat. Quick timeout. We'll come back. Looking for Coach Lou audio. If you want to get on early, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570, especially if you're just trolling in the chat. I mean, you could call in. Don't be scared. Clippers losing Miami. They're 5-16. I'm Adam Moslin. Looking for answers, looking for some positives here on your Clippers postgame show. James Harden was a minus 31 in the first half. The Clippers trailed by 20, got down by 29 early in the third quarter. The starters got benched. The rest came back into the game, except for James Harden. Clippers had it down to 12 around the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter as Kawhi and some of the others continued to fight out there, but came up short, and they're 5-16. And as many are telling me, this is the most disappointing Clippers season they have witnessed. Clippers lose 140-123 in Miami to the Heat. We'll take a timeout here. We'll come back locally with Clippers talk. But first, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network.
This is LA Clippers basketball. AM 570 KLAC Los Angeles, 98.7 KYSR HD2 Los Angeles, and iHeart Radio Station.
Did the starters get the message? You better play harder, or you will be benched. That's what we saw early in the third quarter. We'll see on Wednesday. Tip-off, Clippers in Atlanta taking on the Hawks at 4:30. Pregame show starting at 3:30. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until then in LA. It is Clippers Talk next. Well, the Heat were hot from the outside and tied a franchise record hitting 24 three-pointers. It continues to be an issue for the Clippers, and so does this. They lose again, 140 to 123, and are 5-16 on the season. Welcome into Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Osland. If you want to get on tonight, we're with you for another 45 minutes. 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. I'm at follow Adam A on X, at Clippers Talk on the YouTube side, where you can just chat and hide behind your keyboard and say whatever you want, I guess. We saw something different tonight for the first time, as Coach Lue has pulled a different lever. And that lever was, well, pull the starters. And I don't mean pull the starters late in the game. I mean pull the starters at the 10:34 mark of the third quarter, down 29. They're down 20 at the half. Bam Adebayo, Davion Mitchell, and Norman Powell all hit three-pointers. Now they're down 29, and Coach Lue said enough. It was 85-56. He took out Harden, Dunn, Collins, Zubats, Kawhi for Cam Christie, Chris Paul, Yannick, Kobe Sanders, and Kobe Brown. Didn't do much score-wise, but was there a message sent? Eventually, shockingly, with the Clippers still down big in the third quarter, with the Clippers down by 38, Kawhi Leonard came back into the ballgame. Not on my bingo card. It was 112-74 with 2:51 left in the third quarter. Miami extended their lead to their largest lead of 38. And Kawhi came back in? Was that a leadership move? Was that him wanting to show support for Coach Lue? That this is on us. I'm going to go out there, continue to play hard, even in a game we're almost down 40 in. A game that was over. I mean, it would have been the biggest comeback in NBA history. Nobody's come back down 38. We've had a 36-point comeback. The Clippers have the second biggest comeback down 35. That was a few years ago. What's up, Luke Kennard? Kawhi comes in, hits a three-pointer, hits another three. All of a sudden is cooking out there and playing much harder and moving much faster. And then all of a sudden, it's not just Kawhi. Ivica Zubac comes back in. And then Nico's out there. And then Dunn is out there. And John Collins is out there. And everybody but James Harden has returned. And the Clippers had it, believe it or not, down to a 12-point game with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. You want to say it's meaningless? It might be. But I'll tell you this. That didn't look like a team that had quit on Coach Lue. There is no other reason to come back in down 38 than to say, hey, I'm either playing for myself, this franchise, this coaching staff, pride, but they didn't quit in their by far darkest hour. Hell, I went live on YouTube early in the third quarter. We were doing a watch party. I don't know if it was a hate watch because that implies you enjoy what's going on. I hated what was going on. It was more literal. Did the starters get the message? Because Coach Lue pushed that button finally. Said, if you're not going to play hard, you're not going to play. Well, they played a hell of a lot harder when they came back in. And it started with Kawhi. He was the lone guy out there down 38. And I couldn't believe some of the moves he made in the fourth quarter. He gets to 30 minutes. So his minutes restriction of 28 is either off or he pushed through it. Said, forget that. And had 19 points in the fourth quarter. and made you think for a second, you know what? I'm going to keep watching at least. I'm going to keep listening to Carlo here. The only way it becomes meaningful is if it carries over and spills over into Wednesday's game in Atlanta. Sure, it could be them supporting their coach or the franchise and trying to show up for the fan base and say, hey, we're getting embarrassed. We got to play harder in this. But eventually it has to turn into wins, right? We're still 5-16. That's when we'll know if tonight meant anything. Or who knows? You're 5-16. Maybe we'll see a shakeup. Jobs could be on the line. Had Loud Murray on pregame. Maybe I'll play that for you guys in a little bit. Had his thoughts with what he was hearing from Steve Ballmer and his sources. That was a low point for this era, down 38 the way they were. Yes, Miami was hitting everything, and I could build a collage of all the three-pointers that were contested, and they still knocked them down. Some of them were open. But you let a team go on a 30-2 run midway through the second quarter. Is that even possible? Honestly, after the Clippers were down 14 early in the second, they battle to get the lead at 46-44 on an Ivica Zubac's dunk just to give up a 30-2 run in 5.5 minutes. It's unheard of. But that's how things have been going. So I'm not trying to put lipstick on this pig and say, oh, everything's different now. The starters came back in and they showed some heart. And they showed some determination and they were professionals out there and started playing hard after they got benched. It's not enough. They lost. We'll see if it means anything based upon what happens on Wednesday. Still 4 more games on this road trip. I don't blame anyone for turning that game off. The reason I went live during the game on YouTube is because if I'm going to have to go through this, I at least want to be with other Clippers fans. Strength in numbers? I'm not trying to shout out Golden State right now. I couldn't do it alone. It was miserable. It was pitiful. See Norman Powell drop 30. Expected, but down 38. Game 1 of the road trip. You're thinking, maybe they need to change the scenery. Nothing's working right now. And I don't know what's going to happen if there's going to be organizational changes because of this. Like you guys, I've been watching sports for a while too. And when teams have high expectations and don't get close to meeting them, often there's a shakeup. Doesn't mean I want it to happen, though. I don't. I'm not sure that would change anything. It's a collective failure right now, what's happening with this team. Clipper Chris, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin after they lose in Miami 140 to, well, they lost by 17, 123.
Yeah.
What's up, Chris?
Yeah. Hello, Adam. I turned off the game when it was 71-48, and I think it was yesterday. Former coworker Mike told me to give up on them. That we're losers. It's like, and there's no way I'm going to give up our team, no matter how bad things are. Heck, I wouldn't give up on a family member. It's like, right now we're just sick. It's like, we're just not right, and
they're bad. They're a bad basketball team. They're a bad basketball team.
Yeah, I'll admit that. Just that's the way our season's going right now. It's like, but I'm not gonna give up what I've invested in this team. All the memories I've had of them. I mean,
like, if you haven't given up on the Clippers by now, why would you do it when Steve Ballmer's only been around for 11 years? Like,
I was thinking
they've only had a real owner for 11 years. You've been through
Exactly.
much
I was
worse.
thinking that exact thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
All right.
yeah, let's just see what we can do against Atlanta.
I need to see what we saw at the end of this game to be consistent and consistently threaded throughout the 48 minutes on Wednesday in Atlanta. Ryan in Santa Ana. Ryan, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin.
Hey, Adam. Yeah. It's more like who's gonna politic their way into keeping their job. If you know about the corporate world, it's more who can give their best explanation of like why they should keep that person. It's between Lawrence Frank and Ty Lue, to be honest. Like one of them is gonna get fired.
I don't
if
know.
not
I
both.
don't know if anything's either or. I don't know.
You think it's a package deal? I mean, it could be. Who knows?
I don't know if
And,
anyone's getting fired. I mean, I had La Murray on pregame.
Somebody's getting fired, Adam. Somebody's definitely getting fired because there's somebody at fault for this lineup and what is going on, and what they're putting out there. When you're putting out like Niederhauser, he's not ready yet. Like he really isn't.
They put out Yannick when they were down
at
30. They put in Yannick when they were down 30. That wasn't like, hey, let's have Yannick bring us back in the game. We think he's ready. That was punishment.
Like that, but it's like
it was punishment. It was punishment to the starters. That is why they pulled the starters a minute and a half into the third quarter. Coach Lue was punishing them. He said, you guys weren't playing hard enough. I'm taking you out a minute and a half into the third quarter. I think you're completely misjudging what's happening here.
No, like Ty Lue or Lawrence Frank is getting fired.
Okay,
like,
great. But what you just
days.
said about Yannick didn't make any sense. I appreciate the phone call.
What I'm saying is that you're bringing in Yannick like you're desperate. This is where it's at. He's not even ready.
That wasn't about Yannick, Ryan. You're missing the point. That's not about Yannick, my friend. That is about sending a message to the starters. He pulled the starters in a minute and a half. You're saying exactly, but you keep saying Yannick isn't ready. It's like, you thinking this was about Yannick?
This has nothing to do with Yannick, Adam. What are you talking?
Why do you keep saying he's not ready? Like that. That's my point. Ryan, we'll come back to you.
Like you brought it.
Okay. We'll come back to you. All right. I got to take a quick timeout. I appreciate the phone call. Hold on. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. 866-987-2570. 866-987-2570. Clippers lose 140 to 123. Is it about Yannick? Is it not about Yannick? It was about punishing the starters. That's what that was about. So I don't know why we're bringing up Yannick like Yannick's not ready. Great. It's not about that. Quick timeout. We'll come back. Clippers are 5-16. That's what it's about. Bad basketball team right now. We'll see if anything changes on Wednesday. I'm Adam Moslin. This is AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers lose 140 to 123 in Miami to a historic Heat performance. You can say that. They tied their franchise record for made threes. I don't know if they went 24 or 46 the last time they hit 24 threes. Did they shoot at that high of a volume, that high of a percentage? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Clippers are 5-16. I do want to get to all the phone calls, and I do want to get back to Ryan and make sure we're fair here. Ryan, we can move on to whatever point you want to go to. The floor is yours.
My whole point with all of this, first of all, Adam, you're a great debater. You catch on to something and then you like cling on to that, and it has nothing to do with my point at all. My point is Ty Lue or Lawrence Frank, they put on a lineup that is out there and is not working. So one of them are going to get fired for that. That is my whole point. When I mentioned Yannick, it was to say that he is out there because it kind of just seems like that's it. We're done. We're done for tonight. And but you can clearly see that he's not ready. That is all my point about Yannick. I hope he develops. I hope he becomes great. He definitely has the talent. That has nothing to do with this. Lawrence Frank or Ty Lue are gonna get fired. Like, this is not acceptable at all.
Ryan,
because
I know.
Fans raise the standard.
Look, we will see what happens with jobs here. I know what you want to happen, but there's two different things: what you want to happen and what reality is.
What do you think I want to happen? I don't know what I want to happen. I go with whatever like the Clippers go with, and I ride with that.
Okay.
Like I really don't. I don't ask for anybody's jobs or anything like that.
Well, fair enough.
That's not my
we're in the same spot. I don't want to see anybody lose their jobs. I also know the reality of a situation when you're 5-16, and we'll see if changes are made. Fair enough.
I mean, like there was projections that we're going to be top 5. So
I understand.
I think we're in the same boat. I think there was probably maybe a misconception of like what was being said. Okay. You're really great at debating, Adam. You're really great. And I'll give you that because you hang on to certain things. There's like, I'm not even talking about that at all.
Well, I mean, I could literally play back what you said, but I won't do that. So we'll just keep moving. Ryan, I gave you plenty of time. Okay. Did I not?
Thank you very much, Adam. Adam, appreciate you.
All right, my friend. Let's try one more here. Sean in Inglewood. Sean, you're on Clippers Staff with Adam Awesome. What's up, Sean? How we doing?
Hey, Adam. Your last caller had me cracking up. First of all, he's fired both the coach and the general manager about 12 times. Then he doesn't want to see anybody lose their job.
Yeah, I guess I misinterpreted what he was saying because he was two different people. I don't know.
Yeah. You come back to him, now I don't want to see anybody lose their job. But he's already fired him like 15 times. It was just too funny.
How are you feeling tonight, Sean?
I've been way past my disappointment, and I've had issues with maybe Ty Lue's play calling and his substitutions for a while, or his lineup choices. So just to maybe enunciate this a little better, I see them having no really good plays. There's too much. Maybe the ball is too stagnant too many times.
That's pretty general, Sean. That's pretty general.
Oh, that's pretty general. Okay, it is too stagnant. Okay, but to say the energy is not there. It's a bad fit. For whatever reason, it isn't working. And okay, there's some disappointing factors to this season, but I really, for the last couple of years, I didn't like Ty Lue's coaching style, and every solution had to be a small ball solution, and that was it. So I've said this before. I'm really sorry to see that the record is what it is. And so what else can you say? Is this really a disappointing thing? I do see some sparks in this game of positivity, but I don't think it's enough. It doesn't look like they're able at this point to play a 48-minute game.
I agree with you.
And also, they don't close out well on three-pointers at all. Zoo is not as mobile to get out to people, but, when the young guys came in, they did close out on the three-point shot. I give them that. Whether they made them or not, their closeouts were great. They anticipated the next, guy getting the ball, and they got out there. So,
all right, Sean.
I think it's maybe too many holes to patch, and you can't put lipstick on this pig over and over. The pig is still a pig.
Fair enough. Appreciate the phone call, my friend. We'll do it again on Wednesday.
All right. All right. Talk to you later, my friend. Stay out of trouble, okay?
You too. There goes Sean in Inglewood. Ernie's still on Riverside. Ernie's still here on Clipper Stock.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, I'm with a lot of the same other callers. I just think that having Steve Ballmer as the owner, he's going to have to do some type of shakeup to keep the fan base hopeful. And I think it is going to be either Lawrence Frank or Ty Lue, unfortunately.
So you think that's a shakeup for the sake of a shakeup then? Just to, I guess, inspire the fan base?
Not necessarily, but I just think that Ty Lue has pretty much tried everything he could from going, playing the young guys, and it's just not working.
So my question is then what is the next coach going to do? I feel like Coach Lue's tried everything. I don't know what another coach is going to do.
Yeah, I hear you, but I mean, at this point, you can even see Ty Lue, like you can see his frustration. Like he's tried everything, man, and it's just not working.
Well, times are hard. I get it, Ernesto. Appreciate the phone call. 5 and 16. Jamil in Pasadena. Jamil, what's up?
Hey, Adam, what's up, man? I'm at the VIP. Y'all didn't ask my name or nothing, man. How you doing?
Didn't even have to screen you. We know you too well. It's good to hear from you, I think.
Likewise, man. Happy Thanksgiving, brother. First off, God bless. I'll just real quick. If we don't get a hold on the momentum that we lose, the momentum that we don't gain, as far as when we do lose the momentum, we don't get it back within like a moment's time. We get it back within 2 quarters, 3 quarters. That's when the game is over with.
Ooh.
And it's like if we want to continue keeping that momentum going, whatever was working in the first half, we need to stop abandoning that. I keep saying we should start from the inside out so we can open Zubac up, so we can open those outside perimeter shots that we have contested. When you see Kawhi pass to the lane, you have one look.
Yeah, I've seen them try to get Zoo going early. The guy who took the first 3 shots of this game for the Clippers was John Collins. And I saw him.
Crazy.
I mean, I saw him smoke a layup in this game. He's in a funk. There's so many guys that are struggling. Zoo missed some easy ones. He missed some chippies. He'll tell you the same.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's worth a shot. More inside out. I always want Ivica Zubac to be featured more, but there's a lot of mouths to feed.
Yeah, we all love Ivica.
We shall see how they adjust in the next game. I'm still wondering why James Harden didn't come back into the ball game with the rest of the starters. That's my biggest question right now.
Adam, I think to answer that, and I don't want to be negative, but I think it's because sometimes, from experience playing, I know you played too. Like there's this thing, the momentum. Sometimes you could tell by the trends and what he was playing. He had a lot of turnovers. He was sloppy. He was forcing shots. He was forcing, the full court pass to the Zubac. I'm like, what are you doing, James? And then he got hurt. It's like, let me just take you and sit you down and save you from yourself. It's like a boxer in the ring, you getting pummeled. Let me save you from yourself. Even though I know you got it, today is not your day. Let's just sit you down. Let's get you what we said. You played a lot of hours. You played a whole lot of minutes. I know we needed you, but we got Kawhi back. Let's temper this back for today. So the game is pretty much out of reach for us from a point guard perspective, because now we needed 3 after 3. We needed 2s. We needed fast breaks. We needed blocks, stops, steals. We did everything. So this game is out of reach. So
you might be right.
Make it reasonable.
He's played a lot of minutes. It could just be that.
Yes.
It could easily just be
flew
that.
To Miami. We flew way to Miami. That's a long trip. I'm pretty sure they probably landed some, the Clippers like at the weird times. Probably landed at 4 yesterday. And then we didn't get to sleep till 10 to 10. So it's like, it's just take a break. There's a lot going on. You can see by the interview, he's overwhelmed. Like a couple interviews ago he had, it's kind of overwhelmed. It's a lot going on. They haven't been here before. So there's no experience off there. Like Mookie Betts, there's no experience to this. So you have to figure out in your own wheelhouse. Maybe you have to call a players-only meeting. You have to hear some negative things from people. You have to scream out, whatever, curse, whatever. But you got to get it out of you now, because it's still, with all this basketball left and the way these records on the West is going, we can still get within the play-in or a reasonable record to have a chance.
All right, Jamil. Appreciate the phone call. Don't be a stranger. Quick timeout. We'll come back. Lines are busy. We got to screen some of these calls here, and I got to see if we can even find out if Coach Lou spoke with the media post game, because there's no reporters there covering the Clippers on this road trip, at least right now. So that makes things a little bit more difficult to get any knowledge on and to learn if James Harden and why he was out after the starters were benched early in the third quarter. We'll see. Looking for answers, as we've been looking for answers so far this season. Clippers are 5-16. They lose by 17 in Miami to the Heat. I'm Adam Moslin, and this is AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers lose 140-127 in Miami to the Heat. They are 2-14 their last 16 games now. Coach Lou benched the starters early, and I mean early in the third quarter. Kawhi came back in down 38 to show some pride and fought and had 19 points in the fourth quarter. Some of the other starters joined him, but James Harden did not. Anything to read into there? I'm not trying to make something a story that's not. I also am aware that, CP3 yesterday posted something cryptic with the definition of leeway on his Instagram account. So kind of leads to some speculation sometimes. Ralph in Los Angeles. Ralph, you're on Clipper Stop with Adam Moslin. What's up?
Hey, Adam, what's up? Why don't you want to see a shakeup here?
For the sake of a shakeup?
Well, I mean, it's not working at all. So,
but here's my point. If Coach Lou has tried all these different combinations of guys, like, what's going to change with another head coach?
Well, I think Lawrence Frank is a bigger problem than Coach Lou.
So you're going to fire Lawrence Frank, and the roster's going to change overnight?
Well, I mean, you just have to have someone with new ideas in there. I mean, his ideas just haven't panned out. Like, anyone would have made the trade for Paul George, right? We've been over that. I mean, would anyone have given up all those picks for Paul George? Maybe not. Maybe someone could have negotiated better, right? We don't know. But then, letting Norm go, trading for John Collins.
Everybody wanted John Collins, Ralph. Everybody wanted him. And they've been talking about John Collins for years.
Okay.
And everybody was killing Norman Powell after the playoff series against Denver, saying he's not a playoff guy. I was here.
Right. No. Yeah, I was here too. I was watching it, but I would say the bigger problem in that playoff series was Chris Dunn because they left him wide open. I love Chris Dunn. I know he plays great defense. He rebounds, but he's a liability on the offensive end, and he was big time. Especially we were playing 3 guards against Denver. That wasn't going to work.
I mean, the problem was Norman Powell was a liability on the offensive end in that series, and obviously isn't bringing you much on the defensive end.
Okay. Sure.
I love Norman
Powell.
Powell.
His team for 2 years.
And he was getting 18 per game on strong shooting percentages, and Phoenix had other issues going on. It wasn't just him.
Yeah, no. Look, I'm not going to say that, but I've watched the Clippers since 05, 06, and this has been I was happy to see the kids in there in the third quarter. That was like, I'm put Yannick in, but make him a starter. I don't care.
Oh, I loved it. It was it was punishing the starters. They deserved it.
Yeah, for sure. But I do think, I think that Lawrence Franks made some bad moves here, man. I mean, you could make an argument that it was a good idea, but all of his good ideas have not panned out. If I performed that way at my job, I would be fired.
Here's the thing.
That's all I'm saying.
What you have to evaluate is, we'll see what happens, but what you have to evaluate, for me, it's what was in his control. He couldn't have predicted Kawhi Leonard would tear his ACL. No one knew that SGA was going to turn into the best player of the NBA.
No, I'm not even going that far back, but when you go to this roster, when you have had the injury history that we've had, and we know that Kawhi could easily be out for the entire season after a couple games, to get Bradley Beal, who's had his own injury history.
Ralph, you're assuming there were better options for the same financial reasons, and there weren't.
I would have run the same team back again before I made some of the changes that he made.
So honestly, you were not for bringing in John Collins like everybody was. You were the guy.
Over Norm Powell, that's dangerous.
People wanted Norm gone after the playoff series. I was here. I remember. They loved the trade. I can pull up Twitter and go back to all the responses to that trade, and everybody's there is like, yeah. I'm just saying. Should he be? Here's the other part of this, that Ralph, and I understand what you're saying. I think it's fair for the most part, but there is another side to this. The number one priority is the summer of 2027. Now, you may not like that, but having the books clear and having a hard reset is a huge part of the job. And that's how he's lined things up. Now, the point was to be competitive until then, and that obviously hasn't happened. They overachieved last season, and now they're underachieving completely this season. It's frustrating. I get it.
Okay. Preparing for the 2027 season, when they first had this idea, Luka and Shea were still on the board, right? And they're not now. So the 2027 doesn't look so bright. And also,
but you don't know who's going to be on the board, just like we didn't know for sure where they would be. You just have to plan for flexibility, right?
Yeah, okay, but this is hot garbage, man. I mean, it's uninspiring to watch. I wouldn't care if we were rolling out the rookies and losing. They're at least trying to be in the league. You know what I mean? These guys don't look like I have been a fan of James Harden. He's been great most of this year, but he might be the problem, because what I just saw tonight without him on the floor looks better to me.
Well, it was 20 minutes in a game they were down 30 in. Look, we'll see. I wish I could find a post-game quote and see if there was a reason why he didn't come back out with the rest of the starters, but I understand your points, Ralph, and I know a lot of people feel the same way, so I appreciate you calling in, man.
Anyway. All right, later.
All right, Steve in Maryland. Steve, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Osland. Hi, Steve.
Yo, what up, Adam?
What do you want to say?
Yeah, I think looking at this season from the micro, I mean, look, to stay optimistic, fight for the 10th seed. You're 3.5 back. I mean, it's an uphill battle. Things are looking desolate right now, but maybe you can get a little streak going, and the 10th seed is still alive. I think going back to Norm, I used to be very confused at the Norm hate from Clips Nation. I mean, you look around the league, you got a guy who gets downhill with force, who could cash from 3. I mean,
look, I didn't like seeing Norm go, but I understood the reasoning. You're getting a forward, and you're getting another guy that can do a lot of what Norm does for you. That's a fact. I mean, Bradley Beal the last 2 years, he actually has more to his game when he's right, not out for the entire season. Like, I understood the logic. It just didn't work out.
That's fair. That's fair. And I mean, the biggest thing is the 2027, right? Cap wise, re-signing Norm wouldn't have made sense. But just in the short term, year to year for this year, I mean, I'm a Wiz fan, so maybe I'm a little bit jaded when it comes to Beal, but I think even Beal, at his best right now compared to Norm, I don't know. Norm's a better player to me.
Well, it wasn't
but
no
again,
Beal
Beal
straight
got
up
in.
for Norm. It was supposed to be you're having Beal and John Collins. That is what had most people licking their chops like, this is a great move. I'm sorry, but everybody, I didn't find many people that didn't think he cooked with that move this summer.
No, that's fair. And the thing is, though, even back to 23, 24, I remember you used to mention this too. Norm was actually super important on that team that was super loaded. He was big in the fourth quarter. So
The Power
I just didn't
Rangers.
really love. Yeah, I just didn't love how a lot of the Clips fans just kind of, were super down on him. I thought a little bit unnecessarily, and now you're kind of seeing when you move on from your ex, and sometimes it's not always, grass isn't always greener.
Well,
but
the people that are
anyways,
like,
man,
well, he's not a playoff performer. It's like, great, you got to get to the playoffs. The same people that criticize Harden for that stuff. It's like, you have to get there.
Exactly. You know, it's kind of funny. This is not, this isn't really logic or math involved, but I kind of had a bad feeling about this season when Bill Simmons and his over-under, when he was like over on the Clippers, I was like, it's kind of bad.
He's the mush.
Sign, whenever
he's the mush. He jinxed us.
Whenever he's like just crapping on the Clips, then it's like, all right, something good might happen here. But even Zach Lowe is kind of like, I don't know, man. They're kind of old. Like an injury or two goes bad here.
We knew their age was a ticking time bomb, and apparently it went off with some of these guys. Because CP3, he does not look like the guy I saw last year in San Antonio who played 82 games. He just doesn't.
You're setting up for 2027, and you're also trying to win in the short term. I mean, that's tough sledding.
They're threading a needle. They did it last year. They did it the year before. This year, it's not happening right now.
Last year was such an incredible overachievement. I don't think some fans really realize because we're just so in it, but that was a ridiculous overachievement last year. I mean, your over-under was, 33 wins? So I think that kind of altered the perspective of, maybe what the team is, but natural.
Steve, well thought out phone call. Appreciate your level-headedness. Call back into on Wednesday. I'm going to need you every show now. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Quick timeout. We'll come back. More of your phone calls. Clippers lose 140 to 123 in Miami to the Heat, and they're 5-16. I'm Adam Osland. You're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network and AM 570 LA Sports. Clippers got down by 38, lose by 17 in Miami. After the starters got benched to start the third quarter, Kawhi came back in. Zoo came back in. Dunn came back in. Collins came back in. Batum came back in. No James Harden. Clippers cut it to 12 with 2 minutes left, but fall 140 to 123 in Miami. Let's go to Kevin in San Pedro. Kevin, you got 30 seconds here so I can get to everybody. Kevin, what's up?
All right. So, first thing I want to say is just the current NBA right now. It's a new era. I think they were talking about the per 100. You know, there's way more teams
Pace of
playing
play.
at a faster pace. Yeah. So we can't. I mean, with the current roster right now, we play a lot of iso ball. We're old. Zubac's slow, and because the NBA changed so drastically, I don't think we can continue moving forward with the way it's constructed right now. For example, Harden, great numbers. I have him for fantasy, but he's only good if he's the best player, and the offense doesn't flow. So, I mean, what can we do? Make trades, right? Because Ballmer's not going to tank. He's already said that. All-Star game is coming to LA, so tanking's not going to happen. So I think because we're trying to have a clean slate in 2027, we have to make moves now, and I think that's what's going to happen.
All right.
So I mean, I did think about DeRozan, but I think there's someone else that's better on Sacramento that would fit our team better. Is Malik Monk.
Well, yeah, but he's going to cost you more. Wait, hold on. You said DeRozan.
Well, he's 18.
You said they're too old, and you want DeRozan.
Yeah, no. I don't want DeRozan anymore. I think Malik fits because he's better at catch and shoot. He makes decisions quicker. He gets on hot streaks. He's younger. He's
everybody loves Malik
18.
Monk, but it's going to cost you a lot.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I appreciate the
they
phone
have
call.
a logjam in the guard spot. They have a logjam there.
It's
so
still going
to
to cost. They don't have
It's
they could
18.
still drive up the
18.
price. You understand if you have two teams that want a guy, that's all you need. They're not going to just give him away because they have a logjam. They're going to get Vlade Divac is not there anymore.
Over Levine.
They would love to get.
Rather keep him.
Yes, they would. He's more valuable than Levine. Are you kidding? Levine's contract is looked at as a negative. All right, appreciate the phone call. Quentin in San Bernardino Valley. Quentin, you're on Clippers Talk, and I think I'm hearing myself.
Okay, hold on, Adam. Okay.
You're putting me on hold?
Okay, Adam, I'm here.
Hurry, 30 seconds.
Okay, so listen. Okay, our young guys, Conan and Kobe are getting great minutes for development, so I do love that. You have to look at the positive sides. Like I've been a Clipper fan since the 84-85 season, so I've seen ups and downs, more downs and ups. The other thing was you keep saying we're going to clear the books for 2027. I was looking at the free agents. I saw Joker and Giannis, but I don't know if there's any superstars coming up in 2027, and Joker's getting up there.
Here's the other thing, Quentin. Here's the other thing, because I got to get out. You can trade for guys and absorb them into that cap room. Yes, the Clippers already have 2 first-round picks they can trade currently. More will continue to open up as we go along here. Clippers lose 140 to 123 in Miami to the Heat. They're 5-16. I know it's really frustrating, and that's why I try to give you guys a voice here and more time on the phones. If you keep calling in, we can keep going, because I'm still waiting to hear from Coach Lou or James Harden post-game or get any post-game talk. We can do some Clippers talk after dark, but you guys got to keep calling in for me. Outside of Los Angeles, we're leaving you until Wednesday. Clippers in Atlanta taking on the Hawks. Tip-off at 4:30, pregame at 3:30. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank the Clippers organization. Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call. Big brother Jake Warner, what's up? Daniel West back here in the bank. I'm Adam Moslin. We will talk to you then. Hey, if you guys want to call in, it's only 8 o'clock. I can go a little bit longer if you guys want to hang out. I'm trying to get this post-game audio. I need to hear from Coach Lou. I need to hear from James Harden. But we don't got any reporters out there, unfortunately. It's no knock. It's just what it is. So I don't know where that audio is going to come from. If anybody has Coach Lou postgame and aren't just making things up, that'd be cool. Clipper Stock, what's your name? Where you calling from? Yeah. What's your name? Where you calling from?
In the NBA, we have 3 late games, including the Dallas Mavericks, leading with about 6
It's who?
minutes to go at Denver, 118-117, 30 points for Anthony Davis.
Chunk? Chump? What? Which one? Chunk. Chunk, how are you, man? Thanks for calling in. Where are you calling from? All right, Chunk. Hold on. You called in, so I'll keep going. You saved everyone. Or maybe you didn't. If you want to call in like Chunk, hey, you guys. If you want to call in like Chunk, does anyone? Clipper Stock, what's your name? Where you calling from? Clipper Stock, what's your name? Where you calling from? Clipper Stock. Hello. I got you. What's your name? I hear you. Ray, hold on, okay? All right, hold on. Are you good?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be done over here in just.
Guys, we'll get back to you here in a sec. Ray and Chunk have called in. Have you? I'm going to run to the bathroom and come right back. Clipper Stock, what's your name? Where you calling from? Clipper Stock, what's your name? Where you calling from? What is it?
Here's a slam dunk for LAD.
Vincent, hold on.
Streaming on the iHeartRadio app.
Clippers got down by 28. Lose by 17 in my Clippers organization. Ralph Rock.
Clippers talk is over, but it's going on your feed right after. Why can't exclusively on the LA.
Hey, Clipper Talk, what's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, Mitch, hang tight, man.
Still here? We'll get to you. Has anybody seen any Coach Lou post game? Have you guys seen anything?
Nope. I Googled his name. It's just people whining about gambling because he sat hard, and people are like, "Oh no, it's the other."
God.
Fox Sports didn't even, or not Fox Sports. Whoops. 40 and Flip. FanDuel didn't even have him before they left the post game. Yeah.
So, because there was no reporters there, he may not have spoke with the media. That's happened before. I hate it. I'm not mad at Coach Lou or anything. It's just like we need coverage. I want to hear from him. I want to hear from James Harden. It's crazy to me that. Let me see here. I'm still searching on YouTube, guys. I should do the filter down to in the last hour. Sort by upload date. Last hour. Yeah, I'm just going to keep searching this. This is how we'll do things here. I got a couple guys on hold. Vincent, Chunk, Ray. We'll get you back to your phone calls. And some of you guys are soft and won't call in and just keep posting Fire Ty Lue over and over again.
Pull up.
You got something? No way.
Me?
No.
No, just saying, they should pull up. Call in.
Oh. Daniel's calling you out.
Pull up.
Pull up. Keep that same energy. On the phone lines, it's Clipper Stock After Dark. You can say whatever you want. You can swear at me and cuss me out, and I don't care. I'm staying. Tell me to fuck off. Call me a company man. Do what you want. But call in. Let's have a conversation. Ralph wants to call back. You want me to call in again? I could keep going. I see Ray's on it. Raymond is on it, trying to look for some post game from the Clippers side. Thank you, Raymond. I need something. I need to hear something. I don't want to have to find things out off of stories on Instagram of guys throwing shade or something. Whatever CP3 was doing. I don't even know. Uh-oh, somebody's calling in. Clipper Stock, what's your name? Where are you calling from? What is it? Junior? Junior, hold on.
All right, let's get over here if you want to take some calls.
Thanks, bro. All right. I think we're back up. I think we are good to go now. All right. Junior in Arkansas. Junior, you're on Clippers Talk After Dark with Adam Oslin. What's up, Junior?
Hey man, how you guys doing, man? I've been a long time Clipper fan. I just wanted to know, man. Just it's been frustrating these past couple of years, 2 years especially. You know, coming from the Western Conference Finals in 2020, 19 season with Paul George.
21.
I feel like that was our best shot.
It was, and they would have won it all if Kawhi didn't tear his ACL. I fully believe that.
I honestly believe that was the best year we could have gone. We could have gone deep that year, but unfortunately, ever since then, man, I feel like our roster. Front office has been doing bonehead moves, man, and it's killing us right now.
Well, was it that, or I mean, the next year they don't have Kawhi all year, and Paul George only plays 31 games, and then the year after that, Kawhi and Paul George are both out by Game 3 of the series against Phoenix, and then the year after that, Kawhi can't go or can't be himself against the Dallas Mavericks in the 2 games he played. Like, we gotta be honest about the injury stuff going on.
Kawhi as well, yeah. Kawhi's had to take some fault as well, you know, especially, you know, he's been in and out, but, you know, every time he comes in, you know, he shows out, and that's something that we can't deny. So, you know, I just feel like, you know, roster change should probably be coming up soon. So, I don't know, hopefully the best comes up. So,
all right, Junior. Appreciate you calling in, man. Have a good night.
Have a good night, man. Thank you.
Vincent, you're on Clipper Stock with Adam Oslin. What's up?
How you doing, Adam? Hey, I like listening to you guys because this is the only outlet we have as Clipper fans who's been here for a long time, been there since '96. The issue I have is I don't want player or people to get fired, but they need to be replaced. A new voice or sound does help organizations out. Also,
it can. It does not always.
Okay, it can. I agree with you. It can. But the thing is, you keep saying the 2027, the books are evolved or clean or whatever. Do you believe the people in place now can build a contender?
Yes.
With that, you trust Lawrence Frank and whomever else is involved with the decision making to make good decisions to build a contender. Even though Lawrence Frank has showed that he can't really draft well, but he could get a name. He go out there in free agency and get a name, but he doesn't draft very well.
It's fair to say he hasn't drafted very well. It's also fair to point out that their picks have come at the very end of the first round or not in the first round at all.
Yeah, but that's the way it goes when you win, though. And that's what we want. But that don't mean that you don't find. And then another
But
issue
it's a statistical thing. Like if you draft at the end of the first round,
you can go with that. But that's the position you're in, and you still need to do your job. Your job is to find that diamond in the rough. Also, player development. We knew that we gave up all these draft picks, and I'm not even complaining about what they did previously. And like the previous dude said, our best chance was the first 2 years. We should have won in the bubble, but then we find out that the players didn't want to play in the bubble. That's why we didn't win. Then we should have won the following year.
Forget that. Did they want to play when they were
back and forth about?
Hold on, Vincent. I don't like the excuse of they didn't want to play in the bubble. Did they want to play when they were up 3-1 on Denver? Did they care then?
But that's what they.
Did they care then?
That, but that's from their voice. I'm not making up that.
But don't you think it's an excuse? They were up. They were up 3-1. They seem to care. They seem to care then.
Okay,
like we got to take our L on that one.
No, let's take our L. Following year, like you said, we had our best chance, but we got hurt. Then we keep getting hurt, but you keep doubling down, and then you go get players and commit to players who've shown that they have been hurt. They've shown that they get hurt. Kawhi Leonard's showing he's going to always get hurt.
Yeah,
then
but what other place?
Bradley Beal is always showing he's going to get hurt.
Where could you have pivoted for a player as talented as Kawhi when he's healthy?
You know what? I don't know. No, I'm not saying pivoted from Kawhi, but I'm saying don't double down on other dudes that are just as hurt as he is.
But you understand, Bradley Beal was $5 million. You have to take that risk for $5 million. It's nothing.
Understand that. Okay, understand that. So then what was the plan if he got hurt? And you had to have that plan because there's a good chance he was going to get hurt.
You can't plan for everything. At some point, if enough guys get hurt or enough guys can't play, you're just
We're not
cooked.
talking about enough guys. We're talking about a guy that's constantly been hurt for the last 6 years.
I understand that. But if Kawhi doesn't miss the first 10 games, if DJ isn't out, not the first 10 games, but he ended up missing 10 after the first 6, I think it was. If DJ doesn't go out you can't have that happen and DJ's out for 6 weeks and Bradley Beal's out for the season. Like you can't weather that storm.
But I agree with you, but you do understand that the players that you named, the mainly first 2, have been hurt consistently.
But what were you gonna do about Kawhi at this point? You can make the point that you shouldn't have got Bradley Beal. I would argue that for $5 million, everybody's doing that. Everybody is taking that risk.
I'm okay with that. But then what happens? So what are your plans? If you're going to get a Bradley Beal, someone has to say, okay, that's a good gift for $5 million, but it's a good chance he's going to get hurt.
My friend,
what are we going to do other than that?
They needed good fortune this year to make a run.
So you're going off of hopium.
It turns out everyone needs good fortune to make a run. Everyone needs some injury
luck. But you're not
luck.
going to commit to dudes that's been hurt for the last 6 years.
I know, but again, who are you getting with higher upside for $5 million?
Okay, so I'm gonna jump in the boat. I'm gonna go in all in because it's $5 million and the hope that
it's not all in because it's only $5 million. Phrasing it as it's all in, that's not all in. It's $5 million. Who else were you getting for $5 million?
A lot. You just said that they was gonna pin a lot on Bradley Beal, though.
Yes, they needed good fortune.
So you are going
it
in on
didn't
Bradley
work
Beal.
out because of where the Clippers. Right. Look.
No, I agree with you, Adam.
Look at coming into this season, the age of the team. They were going to need a lot of good fortune to happen, a lot of guys to stay healthy. But that's also was the only way they were going to be able to have a quote unquote contender this season. They needed a lot of stuff to go right, but they also didn't have really an option to do it any other way. So
and they didn't have an option for previous things that they've done. Correct.
Well, if you want to say Kawhi is part of that, sure.
No, I'm not saying Kawhi. I'm not saying Kawhi. Kawhi wasn't the only thing, but that's my other point. So the previous things that were done didn't work out.
Which things? Which things?
We're in, like draft, join, get players with names, the guards that you got, the dudes that are just too old that you hope to stay healthy. Who? Kawhi staying healthy.
Who?
Not really getting nothing for Paul George.
So they shouldn't have got Paul George. Like who are the guys that? Look, the Paul George trade happened. Everybody thought it was the greatest thing ever at the time.
I'm saying everybody. The people that listen to your show were happy about it.
No,
so there's a lot of people that weren't happy with it.
There were not a lot of people. I'm sorry.
Because it was too much. It was too much giving up. And then
99.9%.
I was happy to get Paul George, but they did not want to give up Shea. that, you know what? That's neither here or there. I'm not going to go down that aisle.
All right.
My thing is, I don't believe Lawrence Frank can build us another contender because that's where we're at. We have to build now.
Okay.
We have to build. We have to find diamonds in the rough. We have to be able to develop our players.
I don't think
like,
Vincent, to be fair to you, I understand why you feel like they should move on or go in a different direction. I understand.
I think they have to. I don't want to. They have to go in a different
Well, they might.
No choice.
They keep losing. I don't know what's going to happen. So I got this quote. Vincent, you got anything else? It's a good phone call.
I appreciate the talk, brother.
Call it another time. I like you.
I like you too, bro. All right, man. Let's get going.
Right, be good, Vincent. I got a couple of post-game quotes. This comes from Joey Lynn. I don't know if Joey's there or where these are coming from. Trying to find my source here. So Kawhi on what the Clippers locker room is like right now. Quote, as you'd expect, everybody wants to try and get a win, and we're not finding one at the moment. Norman Powell on the Clippers post-game. Quote, I would have never guessed they were going to be 5-16 and where they're at right now. That's something for them to have to deal with and handle. I'm not worried about them anymore. Why should he be? That's fair. It's so crazy that the last 3 games, Kawhi has put up 39 points in this one, 63% field goal percentage, 30 points the game before, 50% from the field, 36 the game before, 57% from the field. They're all losses. He's a plus 15 in these games. The Clippers have lost them all. Also from Joey Lynn. We got Ray in Redondo Beach. Ray, you're on Clippers Talk. Hi, Ray.
Hey, Adam. Yeah, I mean, I think I don't want to add any fuel to the fire of what people have talked about. I think I just wanted to address one thing was I listened to your pregame with Law Murray, and I think he had some really good insight that people need to keep in mind. Firing Ty Lue or Lawrence Frank in the middle of the season won't change anything, right? We are in the path where we are. 20 games, 21 games now, right? Like the stats, the data's there. We're a bad team. Firing Lawrence Frank because of what he did would need an entire organizational change, which no one's, like any good executive won't do that. When you're in the middle of the project, i.e. the season. Changes, I think, would likely happen during the off season. And that was kind of, I think, cemented by what Law Murray was talking about, how Steve Ballmer manages, and
that was his
I
point.
Work at his former employer, and we know a lot about.
You're a Microsoft guy?
Steve's, yes, and I understand his philosophy. Like it's there in the company still. It's changed, but we know a lot about.
Tell me, give some insight.
I mean, I wasn't here during the Ballmer days, but I know a lot from people like my colleagues that were around, and that kind of understood. Back in the day too, I think Steve has softened up. What I hear a lot is like there used to be a lot more competitiveness between departments, which maybe kind of translates to what's been going on, right? We've heard and seen over the years how the front office and the coaching staff have been in opposite directions. And, Law was saying Steve kind of likes to mediate by just telling them to figure it out. And that's what I hear a lot about what used to happen at Microsoft.
Interesting.
So who knows? There might be something there. So yeah, I think I just want to advise fans like myself that, hey, I don't think change will be drastic yet. I can't preach patience because this sucks. I'm not as a longtime fan as some of you, but I'm a diehard fan, and this feels terrible. And like I've absorbed the whole history of the franchise and understand where we've been, and honestly, this just seems just not in good fashion. But
yeah, all
we can do is try to correct what we can. I loved seeing Kawhi's fight. I think there was Justin Russo just posted his article about that and how Kawhi could have just like put on his sweats and warmed up the bus, but he came in and performed. Not that it made a difference, but I think could make a difference for what's left of this road trip.
I think
am
it
concerned
was a
about Harden,
statement. It
though.
was a statement from Kawhi. It was. He
Yeah.
came in when they were down 38 at their worst. And he was the only guy that came in from the starters at the beginning there. And then eventually some of the others came in.
Yeah, I was texting my buddies. We have like a Clipper Dads text thread, and I'm like, turn the game back on. This is so bewildering, but amazing.
I was
Kawhi
doing a live
instant heater.
stream after they got down and they pulled the starters in the third quarter. I couldn't believe Kawhi came back in.
I wish I would have joined because I was just like in shock. And then the performance that he put on was just like, what the hell?
That was the best he's moved.
He could get it. Yeah.
Since 23-24 season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remind me of the old let's get Kennard and the boys out there and see what happens.
Yeah. For a second they gave me a little bit of hope. But yeah, they were down 38. Nobody's come back from that before.
Yeah.
Good phone call, right?
To bring within 12 is wild.
Yeah. Just keep fighting. And to me, it looked like a statement. It could be just them wanting to say, hey, we're professionals and we're going to keep playing. But there's no way that players couldn't know that if you come in to try to keep playing in a game you're down 38, that does say something about your head coach. Like, you're not quitting on him. They didn't quit on Coach Lue in the game. There's no way you come in down 38 if you're not trying to say we're not quitting.
Well, I was going to say, it looked like everyone got the message except for our boy James. I'm not sure. Like, it's just like every time I saw him on TV, he was off in the corner. Like, the guy wasn't standing up, and cheering for neither the young guys or when the rest of the starters went in. He just seemed to be sulking, and that's the part where really concerns me. It's like, I'm still a James fan, a Harden fan. I wasn't before he joined the Clippers, but I'm a supporter, whoever joins the team. But I'm seeing the tendencies that I saw when he was in Brooklyn, where I'm not saying he's completely quit on the team, but things aren't looking positive.
I mean, if something's going on with James, things turn quickly here because he's been their best player so far this season. Like, he's been playing really well. The last couple of games, he hasn't. He had the 7 turnover game last time out against Dallas. I thought he had a really bad game. Despite he had 29, he got a ton of free throws in there, but I thought he had a really bad game, and those 7 turnovers were very costly. But how do we go from he's their best player and he's playing every game and he's trying to lead them to there's a James Harden issue? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I saw him, like, he was obviously carrying the Clipper ship throughout that road game and the beginning of this like long losing streak. But I think this past weekend, home back to back, like the interviews and everything, like it felt like something broke within. And I wonder if there's something going on, something else, because like those interviews,
I liked what he's been saying post game. I like the challenging quote. Like, I think he was just done with the interview. I didn't see that pointed at anyone in particular. It was Law Murray asking about having to play so many guys that weren't expected to play heavy minutes when you go back to training camp. What's that challenge like? And he said, challenging. And he was asked what in particular. Is it's like all of it. But I think he just didn't want to keep doing the interview, which is understandable with what was going on. But he had just said a couple games before how he's got faith in the organization and the front office and the coaching staff and the players in the locker room. Seemed like there was good leadership there. So it would surprise me if all of a sudden James has soured on the situation. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope he hasn't. I have no insight. I was just really worried, and like the body language tonight just kind of added to my concerns that I'd been seeing over the weekend. But
yeah,
there's a lot of games to be played. Just hope nothing gets asked, on December 15th on his behalf.
Yeah, he was a minus. He ended up being a minus 39 in 20 minutes. Now it's a game where the Miami Heat, were hitting everything. They were throwing up. Still, he got the worst of it. I don't know how much of that is really on him, or he did have 5 turnovers. He did have 3 assists to 5 turnovers. And the turnovers in the game against Dallas Saturday, some of those were so lackadaisical and just unserious passes, I thought. Like he's trying to thread needles where there's no way that's going to work. I get it.
Yeah.
They're in a tough spot. Maybe he's forcing it a little bit too much. I don't know. But for the most part this season, at least as of, I don't know, 3 games ago, they were 18 points better per 100 possessions offensively with him on the floor. Like they went from a 119 offensive rating with him to a 100 offensive rating without him, which would be by far the worst offense in the league. So, I don't want to act like we're not appreciative of what James has been doing. This is crazy. We don't know if there's something more to him not coming back into this ball game outside of just maybe he's tired. Maybe it wasn't worth it because he's played so many minutes.
He could be. And I'm not on the trade Harden wagon yet. I understand that he's our most valuable asset, but honestly, I think the John Collins fit isn't there, especially with the starters. Like defensively, it's just a lot of times, like you always expect James to be blown by, but John can't keep up with anyone.
No,
and
John Collins'
that
defense
just causes all these rotations.
Collins' defense has been much worse than advertised so far.
Yes, it's porous.
I cannot believe if you watch
lack thereof
the last 3 games heading into this one. I watched specifically just coming out of timeouts and starting quarters. I have not seen a player hunted like he's been in a long time. And that is alarming because that means teams have seen it on tape and they're scouting him and they're going right at him. I could not believe some of the stuff I saw in the Lakers game and then the Memphis game and then the Dallas game where they were going at John Collins relentlessly.
I was going to say, Austin Reeves just picked apart John Collins.
Often people say, like, why don't we just go at this player? Fans will say that, and it's easier said than done. Teams have literally been doing that at times to John Collins right now. He has to take up the challenge. He has to be better. But, Ray, I appreciate the phone call, my friend.
Thank you. Once again, you are a valiant fighter. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Ray. We got somebody from the 513 calling in. I feel like I screened this earlier. Chunk.
Yeah.
Chunk.
What's good, Adam?
What's good? Not a damn thing.
Not a damn thing. God, I'm depressed.
But we're here
This
together.
season's been hell. But I honestly wanted to call in because kind of what you guys were just talking about. I've been a Harden. I got my PhD in Harden basketball philosophy. He's my favorite player ever. And I am seeing the body signs. I am seeing the kind of quits that we've seen in other teams.
Give me some specifics.
But yeah. So like specifics is it's like laziness. But his lazy, like I said, he's my favorite player, and his laziness is like more of because he's just so intelligent basketball wise. And so he won't put in that extra effort if he does. Like if he's engaged, I guess. Does that kind of make sense? So
you're saying he knows they're not good enough, so he's giving up type of
thing?
Hmm.
Exactly. And I don't know. So if you go back to the last teams that he was on, the only team that actually doesn't like him is the Sixers. And that's because the other organizations that he was with, they like all the fans, they like understood why he was upset. And I can't tell like why it is yet, but I really do feel like it's getting to a point.
Well, if you're a James Harden historian, that does make me a little bit more concerned.
I know, and I think the thing is that Harden will always play for his team. Like he will do the most for his team. But one thing that I do think is that he won't lay it all on the line for like the organization.
But he said such great things just recently.
Right. But I think it's more from like a business mind standpoint. It's like
he's saying the
like
right
you almost have
things
to look
for
at
good
him like
PR.
it's and it's not just that. Like I think you have to look at it like he's almost like a car, and he knows that he's on mile like 80,000. And so I don't necessarily know if, like, when he sees the stuff that's going on, I think it's just genuinely hard for him to be motivated.
Well, definitely going to monitor the situation since he didn't come back in. I don't have a quote as to why yet. I also, when I asked Lon Murray about this and guys buy in and if they've quit on the team, and he's like, these guys don't want to have to move. They came back to LA. They want
Right.
this to work.
Yeah.
That's the ideal situation. And Harden's one of them.
100%. And I don't think that he wants. I don't think that he will actually wants to get traded. One, because I don't think he wants that stigma of him being a quitter to get out there anymore. And I also think he wants to stay in LA.
Well, then, so
but
what's the solution?
It could be like I know that you guys were just talking about John Collins, and I was thinking that could be one, because I think that he just knows that doesn't work.
I mean,
that could be
they don't
one.
have any options. Like John
They
Collins
don't
has to
until
figure
the
it
trade
out.
deadline.
John Collins has to be
Exactly.
better. There have been some signs recently. This game was not one, but he's
One thing that
I'm
I
not
think-
counting how
Go ahead.
John Collins is playing hard. His defensive issue
100%.
is more so about he doesn't have the quickest feet on the perimeter to guard smaller guys. It's not going to change. And I still have seen a motor at times. He came back out there late in this game, and he's missing
100%.
shots
And
on offense that he just doesn't normally miss. It is in his head.
Right. But I think even in the games where he's hitting, Adam, I don't think that it clicks. He could lead. Like, what was the game that he had the other day? Like 8 of 10, 8 of 9.
Yeah.
And it's like for every 3 baskets that he gets, it's like he gives up 2 on the other end. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I also think when it comes to Harden and he's like the system, he really does mean that. And the pieces around have to complement completely. And he's also somebody who's lazier on the defensive end, who gets blown by, who needs help defense. And when there's 2 people like that on the court at the same time, it's just even worse.
Yeah. I mean, that's accurate for sure.
Right. And then another thing I was thinking, and I agree with you with the coaching and the GM with Lawrence. And I know that's tough for you to just constantly get that. And I think it's more an emotional argument. And I think he's always been basketball aligned with Ty Lue and Lawrence Frank. So I don't think that that's necessarily a problem. But I think it's more just the mileage, knowing the situation, and maybe even Kawhi too, because I think that part of him can feel a way about how long he's been out and the importance of the games that we've lost these past couple. Because if we would have won the Grizzlies and the Mavericks game, could have had a little bit more, motivation for this one. And getting to that 6th seed is pretty much our only hope. It's the only motivation that we have. If we get 7th seed, I guess we get 7th seed. But if we're 8, 9, or 10 and go against OKC, he knows that there's no point. I don't know. I'm just rambling. Sorry. I'm feeling away.
No, you may be onto something, or maybe we're overreacting and doing too much, but I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I'm going to keep watching this because, first of all, we got CP3 dropping something on Instagram yesterday, and now James Harden doesn't come back into a game where the starters got benched less than 2 minutes into the third when everybody else came in. I don't know. We'll see. But good phone call, Chunk. How come you never call in?
We'll see. I know I need 2 more. I'm usually just either upset or happy, and I'm just I'll just listen.
All right, fair enough. Life as a fan, I'm either upset or happy. one way or the other.
Right.
All right, Chuck, be good, man.
Thank you, Adam, for all you do.
Appreciate it. We got somebody in the 562 calling in. 562, what's up?
Hey, Adam, this is Kevin again. We spoke earlier, but I didn't have enough time. But I did want to talk about the pace of the game again. So, what's your take on that right now? Do you think that we can continue to play at this pace and think it's going to change, or do you think it's going to, or are we saving this for the playoffs? Like, what are we doing here?
With which part?
The pace, our pace.
Oh.
We've been the slowest pace with Ty Lue for the longest time. I love Ty Lue, by the way. Like, I don't want to change anything.
Well, they got ISO guys and they got older guys. You're going to play to your talent. They're not going to be able to change and all of a sudden be one of the fastest teams in the league. It's not going to happen. Last season, they were better with being opportunistic with long outlet passes and some hit-aheads.
Mm-hmm.
They've been worse in that area so far this season. But it's built in. It's baked in. They're an older team.
So I think the previous years we had guys like Amir Coffey and Terrence Mann to like help the speed of the game with like those quick outlets and just attacking the rim, and they played like energetic defense. But we don't have that right now, and so I don't think we're gonna stay the same. Like, we're definitely gonna have to make changes, especially with the roster. Like with Ty Lue's offensive system. So I'm trying to get a read, like when Harden gets doubled or tripled on top of the key, we have no counters because we're trying to make something happen off of that. And I feel like when teams double team, we have to punish them, but we're not punishing them. Even when Zub gets like the ball in the post, when teams double, like we have like one outlet pass and that leads to nothing. So as far as like the X's and O's, like there has to be some kind of counter, and we're not seeing it. That's like the biggest thing that's frustrating me right now.
There are
counters that we're not punishing them.
They find somebody in the short roll, whether or not that guy makes the right pass out of it or the right read. Like, I mean, I see it all the time. They need to be better. They are an easier team to scheme for, maybe because of that. If that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, and like I don't know if Ty Lue's making these adjustments and the players just aren't doing it, and so I don't know.
I'll tell you what.
Language,
did those starters not look different when they came back in the ball game after he benched them in the third quarter?
So
when's the last time you've seen Kawhi move like that? Every possession he was flying. No.
Yeah. For sure.
I need Kawhi's pace of play after he came back into the ball game down 38.
Oh yeah, we need him. We need him to be our best player. He has to be our superstar right now, and he has to deliver that. But I think, like John Collins. So I was super excited when he first came in, but I do see he's a big reason why a lot of the problems are happening on defense. Because I've been observing him, he gets lost a lot.
He is
because his rotations
he's getting lost off ball a ton, and he's getting picked on ball. I don't know how anyone can say like John Collins, he's not part of the problem. My guy BJ in here is like, no, he's fine. It's James Harden. It's like, no. John Collins has not been very good so far overall. Even when he has good games on the offensive end where he's been being efficient. And not smoking layups like he has been at times. He smoked another layup tonight. He's obviously in his own head. Defensively, teams have been going at him relentlessly. Watch out of timeouts. Like, they are going after John Collins. It is a problem.
He has low defensive IQ. That's what's going on. He doesn't know how to play within the system because they switch a lot, right? Clippers are switch heavy, and he doesn't know how to do that, and that's causing everyone to be off balance. And then his only value right now is his energy, really, like around the rim,
there's no other place to go. They just need him to be better. Like, he can be better. I think whether it's more time, whatever, like they need him to be better. But there's not really another option.
Yeah. So I think when they first built the team, what I was projecting was we're gonna have a slow start because we have an old team, and then second half of the year we're gonna pick it up, figure things out. Everyone's gonna rotate better, but because of our record right now, we can't afford that anymore. So that's why I'm like really pushing. Like there has to be a roster change, and the pace has to change.
I don't
like,
see how there
I don't
won't
think,
be one if they keep losing. Something's going to happen.
Yeah, and then so how many teams in the NBA right now are successful with a big that can't shoot? The game evolved, and almost all the top teams, they have bigs that shoot, and we only have Brolo, and we're not even playing him. So I think I love Zubac, and I know all you guys preach on like how valuable Zubac is, and I understand that. But if the pace is going to change, I think Zubac is our biggest trade piece right now. And again, we're not going to tank. What are we going to keep him for? Keep him for like 2 more years to do what? You know. So I do think him and Bogey has to go. Like all these guys, I really like. But if we're trying to win in a small window right now,
look,
we have to use our biggest trade pieces. Right?
The winning this season, like winning this season, is just getting into the play-in right now. We can't.
I just don't want to be embarrassed for the All-Star game.
My guy, I don't want that either. But like Kawhi said the other night, like we can't talk about winning championships, playoffs. Like, can they get in the play-in? Can they be the 9th or 10th seed right now?
We got to.
They need to win a game.
Palmer doesn't want to tank. Yeah, so changes have to happen. And the pace definitely has to change. Like we're not like sitting comfortably like
the thing is,
top 6 or top 8 for us to just slowly figure it out. We have to figure it out now. Like, we don't have time to waste anymore.
Okay.
Like, the experiment is over.
Like, I get what you're saying about pace because they just lost to the team with the fastest pace in the league. Do you want to know what some of the teams with the highest pace are? The Sacramento Kings, the Dallas Mavericks, the Utah Jazz, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Washington Wizards, the Chicago Bulls. Like, it doesn't correlate with how good you are. The Rockets play at a slower pace. They're pretty good. In fact, I think even OKC, they're middle of the pack. They're 15th now. Like Denver's 21st. It doesn't tell you everything. I don't think that's the biggest issue, to be honest.
But we can't be at the bottom of the barrel, though. Because that's where we're at right now.
Houston's 13-4, and they play at a slower pace than the Clippers.
Yeah, but they have
San Antonio's 36.
We have too many holes on defense.
San Antonio's 13-6. They're right next to the Clippers in pace. Like it. Same with the Knicks. It doesn't tell you like how good you are, your pace of play. That's a style thing more so than anything.
You think we should hold on to Chris Dunn? Like I understand his defense, but
if they have a sell-off, everybody's on the table.
Yeah, I think Chris Dunn's going to go.
Well,
I think Chris
Dunn's on a good contract, and teams will want him if they have a sell-off. So
that's the only way we're going to actually make moves is to package like some of the more attractive players with some people we want to get rid of.
I know,
and I really want Malik Monk. I think like even like if we can try to make a play for Sabonis or like Vucevic, and I definitely think we need more like bullies, like tough guys like Bobby Portis or like Dylan Brooks. Like we need.
You want to trade Chris Dunn is one of the tough guys, and you want him gone.
But that's one.
Well,
and he his shooting is just.
He's shooting league out. He's at 36% from 3. That is league average. I don't know why we're freaking out about his shooting.
And he misses at the wrong time. Like when the big buckets when we need it to get that momentum swing. Him, Kobe Brown. Oh man, it's so frustrating to watch that.
Well,
but Bobby Portis, Dylan Brooks, tough guys that can shoot, and like get the emotions up. I mean, at least make it entertaining. Like this is. Man, I've been a Clipper fan since the knucklehead years, and man, I can't believe what I'm watching right now.
All right, my guy. Who is this again?
This is Kevin.
Where were you calling from again?
San Pedro.
All right, I'm gonna remember you, Kevin. I like the phone call.
Yeah, I'll call back. Don't worry, I'll call back.
All right, Kevin. Be good. Rob in Texas. Rob, you're
Hello, Adam. Yes. Rob from Round Rock, Texas. We've spoken before.
Rob?
John, I'm going to change the tone a little bit here. I notice at the end of the broadcasts, you often give credit to Ralph Lawler and Noah Eagle. And of course, any good Clipper fan is going to know who they are and what they've meant to the organization. Are they still involved? Or are you just sort of saying hooray for them?
They're not still involved with the radio broadcast. I am just giving a nod to those who, laid the path for doing this the right way.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's great. I just wanted to know where you were coming from with it. That's all.
Yeah, it's just homage, paying respect.
I think it's great. One other thing I wanted to mention to you, I'm almost chuckling at a lot of these phone calls because and the texts. Everybody's talking about whose head we're going to chop off or who we're going to get rid of, and I never hear who we're going to get and replace them with. If they're so bad as these guys, as everybody says, who else is going to want them?
It takes two to tango. You got to have somebody that wants that player that you're desperate to get rid of. It's a good point.
Yeah.
That's why I always ask for solutions. People are just like, get rid of this, do this. And it's like, okay, is that realistic? I know.
It's the same thing in politics. People will bitch about what's going on and they won't necessarily have a solution as an alternative. They just want to complain about what's happening.
I get what you're saying. I don't want to turn it into a political conversation, but
no.
You're right.
Just drawing a comparison. That's all. Yeah. Hey, of all this talk, Adam, with all the dialogue that's been going on for the past few days, I've been listening. What do you see as the main problem on the team right now? If you were Lawrence Frank for a day, would you make any changes right away?
What changes would I make?
Yeah.
I don't know what offers he has or what he could get. Like, I'm fine at this point making changes, but I don't know what is exactly realistic or out there either. I don't want to make a change just for the sake of making a change. I don't think that's great. And I also won't make a change if I'm trading away players. I'm not bringing in guys on bad contracts that are going to interfere with the plans for 26 and 27. That's what I won't do.
Yeah, I agree. And even with a guy like Zach LaVine, who's a terrific offensive threat, why would I want a guy who doesn't play any D? To me, that's one of our problems right now. There's no perimeter defense.
Zach LaVine is a tough guy to build around with his contract. Look, I do like his offense. On the right team, it could work. Yeah. I don't know. His contract is up before the summer of 2027. But yeah, Rob, I appreciate the phone call.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, Adam.
Be good. Back to Jamel in Pasadena. Jamel's back.
Hey, how you doing, Adam?
Back with.
Sorry about that. I did
a vengeance.
I wanted to give a message, Clippers. I want to give Clipper fans a message. I've been a fan of this team since '98. If you think that it's going to get better by getting rid of who we got now, by saying get rid of them, it's not. So go ahead and sit down now, get comfortable being in purgatory for about 5, 6 to 10 years. We got to rebuild with no draft picks. We got to rebuild with no assets. We have a good core. Stop saying get rid of these guys. We only going to be as strong as the team's only going to be as strong as the support. It's like the weakest link in the chain. You have to support that person. We have to be there to support these guys. They hear these shows. They hear what's going on. We stressing Adam out with this crap. You know what I mean? Like, dang, man. Like, so let's calm down. It's not about getting rid of who. It's about just getting back to square one and what we know is going to work and what we know is not going to work. Get rid of certain things. Get rid of certain John Collins starting. That's over with. We try that experiment. It's over with. It don't work. Let's go back to what we know is good. So let's go back to what we know is going to work. Let's keep Kawhi going downhill. Let's start making him a shooter. Let's get him in conducive positions to score from the low block. Let's help James Harden have a little easier time on the perimeter by opening up the inside. And let's just play real basketball. Let's support our team in a positive manner. Let's wear the jersey with pride. And let's do what we got to do as a fan base. It's not over with. It's not like nobody died or something, like somebody got sniped on the court. Like, no, we all alive. We all will. And we may have child support to deal with. We might be mad about that like me or whatever we're dealing with. And I'm a custodian, so I deal with issues this all day, but that got nothing to do with the players. So let's just support this team, support Adam, and let's be positive. I know it's ugly now, but eventually the light will come through.
All right, Jamel. I appreciate the positivity here. That might be the best way to end the show. We needed this. We needed something. And I may be out of answers or silver linings now, so I had to hand it off to you. Thank you for the phone call, my friend.
Anytime, Adam. Thank you for having me. God bless.
Clippers lose again, 140 to 123 in Miami to the Heat. I guess I'm not getting that post-game sound. I don't know if Coach Lue needed to talk to any reporters since there weren't any there. I saw Joey Lynn post 2 statements, so I know somebody talked to these guys from the other side, I'm guessing. There were Miami Heat reporters that were asking some questions. Let me try one more time because I'm disappointed. I just want to hear from the players post-game. But I'm out of luck. It's just, man, can't get anything going right now. Looking for Kawhi post-game. Nothing there. James Harden post-game. Don't see anything. The other guy, Norm Powell, did talk post-game. I read you that quote. But I want to hear from the Clippers side. Frustrating game. Frustrating season. Down 38 was definitely a new low. That was something else. Hard to watch. Hopefully it changes. Hopefully something happened by the fact that Coach Lue benched the starters a minute and a half into the third quarter. Said enough. They seemed to respond when they came back in. They played much harder then. What matters is if any of that translates to Wednesday in Atlanta. We'll see. We'll see if there's any changes in the next 48 hours. I don't know. When you're 5-16, everything's on the table. So I'm not going to be surprised by anything happening. I will play the Law Murray audio for you guys. I had him on pregame. I should play this again here. I didn't post it on the YouTube side. This might be good for people to hear. Might upset some of them, but I tried to ask the hard questions during a difficult time. Law Murray came for it. So here was Law Murray. This was pregame on the situation. Ballmer also made it clear that the job coming. Okay, last one for you here, Law. You wrote in one of your final paragraphs here, Ballmer told The Athletic that he speaks starting I'm totally discombobulated. Starting now. Okay, last one for you here, Law. You wrote in one of your final paragraphs here, Ballmer told The Athletic that he speaks with Lue and basketball president Lawrence Frank about how to turn things around. Ballmer also made it clear that the job to turn it around is on Lue and Frank. So how much pressure are we talking about right now? Because I hadn't seen anything like this from Ballmer before, and you put this earlier in your story for The Athletic.
I think that it's always been present to some degree. I mean, the Clippers have always kind of had these stretches, right? That's what the coaching staff was referring to in the first half of November when it didn't appear that they'd be this bad for this long, you know? They leaned back into the process of, we were, bad for like 22-23. We all knew what happened that season with the lack of consistency with lineups and how frustrating everyone seemed to be and how over everyone seemed to be, the clash maybe between the front office and the head coach. Well, who was the mediator between that particular clash 3 years ago? Oh, Steve Ballmer. Steve Ballmer was the one that was like, whatever issues are between you two, y'all figure it out. I think the alignment is stronger now than it was 3 years ago, but the team is also worse and in a worse situation now than it was 3 years ago as well. Steve Ballmer has always kind of let his head coach and his front office figure it out. He's always kind of supported them and advocated for them, told them whatever resource you need, I will provide it. And Steve Ballmer, I don't think, is who anyone would consider a meddling owner, and there's a lot of assets to that. There hasn't been a lot of dysfunction as far as the Clippers' brain trust over the last few years. However, Steve Ballmer is also going to say, because I'm not a meddling owner, this is not my job. This is not my thing to figure out. Y'all need to figure it out. It's your job to. Y'all put the team together. Y'all are managing the team on the day-to-day. Y'all better identify what this is. But I think there's a sense of, from Steve, that there's understandable reasons why it is what it is, whether it's injuries, whether it's just, the team that they put together not working out. I don't think he can overreact, because what are you going to do? You're going to fire a coach, it'll be something different, but who's coaching his team? Someone already on staff that can't help figure it out now? Someone from the outside who is going to have to build relationships with some of the toughest guys to build relationships with? What front office is going to want to take over this situation where you don't have control of your draft and you have old guys right now, like in the middle of the season? That's not something that works. The best chance for the Clippers to figure it out is with the guys that they have right now. Maybe it's a different conversation at the end of the year when it's all said and done. But as far as how things are right now, I would anticipate those guys getting all the rope that they need to either figure it out or to very much show that they can't figure it out.
So you stand by what you said 9 days ago, that they value stability and they could go 1-4 on this road trip and they're not making major moves.
Can't say that that's going to be a thing that you should expect. If it happens, I would be surprised. I mean, the record says that in general, that's justified. But if you are going to say that you value that stability, then sometimes you have a bad season. The Clippers have never had a bad regular season under this group of guys. They've had disappointing ones when they've fallen short of expectations. But you notice that the press releases include the 14-year streak of winning seasons for a reason. Well, now you put you get a chance to practice what you preach, even if it's the unpopular decision, because stability sometimes require some unpopular decisions.
He is La Murray of The Athletic, best of the best. You better be subscribed there. You better be following him at La Murray, the NU, and you better read his latest. Clippers hit rock bottom inside arguably the worst month in the franchise's 56-year history. La, thanks. I guess that wasn't rock bottom. Their 13 losses in November. Now it's December, and they start off with a loss. We will talk to you guys on Wednesday, or if there's any breaking news between now and then. Love you all, Clipper Nation. I really do. It's good to be together during times like this. It's the only thing that kind of makes me feel better. This is a tough time. We'll get through it together.